Okay, we're already getting questions, and I want to say to these questioners about how do you teach it, how do you do it, and should you let people know you're trying to manifest? We'll get to that. We can only talk one word at a time, but we will include as much as we possibly can tonight. All right, the subtitle is Five Steps to Create the Life You Want. Um, so let me tell the audience, these five steps will take you deep if you're willing. This is one of those programs that you get out of it what you put into it, and you can do it over and over in your lifetime. You'll be in a different place. There are so many suggestions in it for what you can do to discover any blocks you have to the abundant life, to release those, and to move into your dreams. So Ken breaks down that process into five steps. And I want to spend a little time with each one because this is the heart of the book. Step one is focus your mind. So focus on
Yeah.
what, Ken?
Well, that's up to you. But what I always say too is you need to choose. And Edwin Gaines was the first place I heard this, but what happens in vagueness stays in vagueness. We are in a field of infinite possibilities and infinite potential, then anything can manifest. When we take the time to focus and to align our mind with what it's we say we really want, it brings it into focus and it brings all of our life into focus. So the process of choosing, of narrowing, and say stating this is what I want to create opens a possibility for it to start manifesting in the world. And that process is both mental and it is both physical. But the physical step comes later. The first is to choose mentally, to choose this is what I'm going to state. This is what I am going to claim. This is what I'm going to focus on to create. And sometimes I get pushback from people who say, well, I don't want to limit the universe. Like you can. You can't limit the universe. It is just this field of infinite potential. So just choose for the moment. You have to begin somewhere. You can always change later on. You can always pick something slightly different and adjust later. But start today by choosing and claiming what it is you want to manifest, and then set your mind to it through the process of manifestation, through prayer, through visioning, through all kinds of different tools we lay out in the book. But the first is to claim it, to state it. Yeah.
All right. So step two, once your mind is focused, you start to change your mind. The second step is shift your consciousness. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Yes, but it is also looking at what we just talked about, the shadow stuff. So I have
Mm.
shadow stuff that, my brilliance, I don't want to own. My capacity, I don't want to own. And so shadow stuff, we think of shadow work as only all those things that we feel we're not good enough. Yeah, that's part of it. But also that stepping into our power and our strength is our is somehow brash or unpleasant, or that's a shadow as well. So we look at shadow in the book and doing that work as part of the really important work, because if you're going to create something new, create a life you've never really fully stepped into before, you have to clear away the mental and psychological and spiritual blocks that live within you. And another great minister I borrowed it from, I said, you have to shift your belief systems, or as Martha Creeks calls them, your BS, right? And so your belief systems, your BS, is what's blocking you from doing the things you might want. I've held some of the desires of my heart for decades, and they are unfolding, and there is still more to unfold. So I look at where I'm holding resentments, where I'm holding the belief systems that are limiting my possibilities in that moment. And that's the work in the book and in the classes I've created around it, is for us to dive deep into those and explore them courageously, to look holistically at ourselves and to choose what to let go of and what to step forward into. And that's the shifting of consciousness.
So, some quick questions while we're on the topic. Do some of these principles come from the Bible? That's a yes.
Yes, of course. They come from the Bible and they come from our teachers, from spiritual teachers for millennia have been teaching this.
Mhm.
Yeah.
In different religions.
Yes, all
All right.
across the religious spectrum. Yeah.
And then what about letting go of the outcome? What about this or something better? How can you focus on what you want, but also release the outcome?
Do
Okay.
here you're going to get caught up, Ellen, because that's step 5.
Okay, we can wait.
We can, but I'll just say this now. Because I was writing a book, the steps are written out linear, but they're all happening all at once, all
Right.
the time. So I promise we will talk about being open to how it's going to show up. It's
Right.
an important step.